Hi friends, my name is Philip Chandan and welcome back to my channel, Energy Environment Education. This is part D of chapter 2.3 STEAM system. Part A, B, C I have already made videos on and already uploaded in my channel, so you can go to the videos part A, B and C. All these videos are equally important, and this is part D of the chapter STEAM system. I have divided the entire chapter into different parts such that it can be easily understandable for you and you can prepare yourself for your exam, friends. So all the aspirants who are looking forward to take exam this year or in coming years, for them these videos are really going to be helpful. I hope so. And also there are other videos, I mean on different chapters also is uploaded in the channel. So you can visit the channel Energy Environment Education and you can go through all those videos also. That can be really helpful for you to prepare for your exam. And this is not only for the energy manager or energy auditor exam concerned. It's also useful for all those engineers who are looking forward to take exam. I mean prepare themselves for different exams, and also for their bringing their knowledge or skill as development, or also if they want to switch their career or make career in energy domain. For them also, those engineers also maybe from electrical background or from mechanical background, if they want to pursue your career in this energy field, for them also these videos are going to be really helpful for them, friends. So please watch these videos, and also please do subscribe my channel if not yet. This will really motivate me to prepare more such videos in coming days, where I'm going to upload a lot of videos not only on energy, also I'm going to upload different videos on sustainability and environmental domain. So please you can watch those videos also. That will be helpful for you to shape your career as well, friends. So that's what I'm trying to request you. Please watch the videos, please to subscribe the channel, and also please share with your colleagues and friends whomever you think these videos are going to help them in their career, friends. So let's start today's video with part D of chapter 2.3 STEAM system, friends. So I have already made videos on Steam system, Steam distribution system, and Steam properties. So you can go through all those videos in part A, B, C. And this is the Steam traps that I'm going to explain you in this particular video. The content of the video will be today will be Steam traps, friends. So I'm going to discuss different type of Steam traps that are available and that can be used for different applications. Those things I'm going to discuss in this particular video, friends. So first of all, you need to understand what is steam trap all about, and there should be proper selection, operation, and maintenance of steam traps that's required. So why it is important? What is the function of steam trap? That's very much important for you to understand for examination point of view also and for your knowledge also, friends. Purpose of installing a steam trap is to obtain fast heating of the product and equipment by keeping the steam lines and equipment free of condensate air and non-condensable gases. So this is the most important part of the concept. That is why you need steam traps. It is to be used to get keep the equipment free of condensate, any kind of condensate there that has to be not included in the steam, friends, that is applied to the equipment. So equipment should be free from the condensate air or any non-condensable gases. A steam trap is a valve device that discharges condensate and air from the line or piece of equipment without discharging the steam. So what is happening here in the case of when you are using the steam for any process in the equipment, so in that case what happens, the condensate or any other air or any non-condensable gases which is mixed up is removed with the help of steam trap, and only the pure steam is passed to the equipment and for the process, friends. So basically the function of steam trap is a is to discharge the condensate and air from the line or piece of equipment without discharging the steam. So steam should not be discharged, only you need to discharge the condensate or any other air or any other condensable gases, friends, which are mixed up in the steam. So this is a major function of steam trap, and that's why it is useful for any industry wherever steam is utilized in any process or in any equipment, friends. So in the exam, if they ask you to define or state the different functions of steam traps, so these are three functions of steam traps, and you must be also able to explain them. First of all, to discharge condensate as soon as it is formed. So first thing is any condensate, if it is present in the steam line, that has to be discharged off, and for that reason the steam traps are used not to allow steams to escape. So you have to consider two things here. One thing is any condensate is there, that has to be discharged, but it should be kept in mind that any steam is not is discharged, so really lead to a lot of losses. So steam has not to be discharged, only the condenser has to be discharged to be capable of discharging air and other incandescent gases. So three important functions of steam traps. First thing is only condensate has to be discharged. Second thing, not to allow the steam to discharge or escape. And third thing is capable of discharging air and other incandescent gases. Suppose not only condensate, others air and incandescent gases also is mixed up with the steam, that has also to be discharged with the help of steam traps. So this is the major function of steam traps. Is the exam in the exam they ask you, you should be able to write it down, friends. So there are three types of steam traps, basically thermostatic, mechanical, and thermodynamic. The thermostatic steam trap is operated by changes in fluid temperature. Mechanical is operated by use of fluid density, and thermodynamic is operated by use of fluid dynamics. Friends, so there are three types of steam traps. In the exam, they have number of times they have asked this question to briefly explain steam trap or function of steam traps, and also state the different types of steam traps. And also they may ask you in this way directly, they may ask you to differentiate between the thermostatic, mechanical, and thermodynamic steam trap, friends. So you should understand the operating principle of the steam trap. Like suppose it is operated by the changing fluid temperature. This is a concept here, friend, that you should remember. Now this is the fluid density and here the fluid dynamics. These three important concept is important here to you for your understanding. And briefly, if they ask you to explain in exam, that you should also be able to explain it in the exam, friends. So I'm not going to explain you detail here because it's already written everything. You can go through, read it, and understand yourself. It's very easy to understand. But only the thing is that the concept of steam trap should be kept in mind while reading this part, friends. Then you'll be able to understand basically what's going on in the steam traps. So in the case of inverted bucket type of steam traps, concept is same. You have to remove the condensate and not remove the steam. So basically the concept that is applied here, that anyway you have to block the steam from passing out, but you have to release the steam, I mean condensate, from the steam traps. So this is the exact concept of the steam trap. That is what is applied here. The inverted bucket steam trap is shown in figure 3.9. As its name implies, it's a bucket, inverted bucket type of steam trap. As its name implies, the mechanism consists of an inverter bucket which is attached by a lever or to a valve. An essential part of the trap is a small air vent hole in the top of the bucket. Bucket hangs down, pulling the valve off its seat. Condensate flows under the bottom of the bucket, filling the body and flowing away to the outlet. So this is the concept that in the first case, condensate is filling up and it can be easily can be removed through the orifice, or you can say the hole that is present there, but not the steam. But the second case, if you see the level of the steam causes the bucket to become buoyant, it then rises and shuts the outlet. So as soon as the steam enters, it will start, it will become buoyant and it will not let the steam to escape. When the condensate is entering in here, it is easily understandable that if the you have to release the condensate. So you can see here in the inverter bucket type steam trap, the condensate, when it enters inside the trap, it gets, it gets released through the orifice. But when the steam is enters inside the steam trap, it is trapped here. It's not allowed to release through the orifice. This is the major concept here of the steam trap that is used in the inverter bucket type steam trap, friends. Now the inverted type of steam trap has some, inverted bucket type of steam trap has some disadvantages. So they may ask in the exam to list out the disadvantages with the inverted bucket steam trap. The first disadvantage is the small size of the hole in the top of the bucket means that this type of trap can only discharge air very slowly. So you need to understand the condensate has to be discharged, and also the air which is mixed in the steam has to be discharged. But in this case, the size of the hole is so small that only air is discharged, but it is discharged very slowly, and hole cannot be enlarged as steam would pass through the too quickly during normal operation. So basically what's happening here, the hole is small and therefore air is passing through it, but it is passing slowly, and you will not be able to increase the size of the hole, because if you increase the size of the hole, in that case steam may also pass through it. So you need to wait for the entire air to be passed slowly. This is the main disadvantage of the air inverter bucket steam trap. Secondly, there should always be enough water in the trap body to act as a seal around the lip of the bucket. If the trap loses this water seal, steam can be wasted. So basically, to trap it, water is utilized here, and at any time there should be enough water in the trap body. If there is no water or loss of water is there, in that case, steam may release from it, and this will be really loss for the system, friends. So you have to keep the water also some in the trap body. So these are two disadvantages in the inverted bucket steam trap, friends. So in the case of float and thermostatic, steam trap, what's happening here? The ball float type trap operates by sensing the difference in the density between the steam and condensate. The major, concept here is the density between the steam and condensate, which is utilized here in this type of steam trap, friends. So what's happening here? In the case of trap shown in figure 3.10a, condensate reaching the trap will cause the ball flow to rise, lifting the valve of the sheet and releasing condensate. So one thing you must understand, again same thing happening here, condensate is getting released while the steam is getting trapped inside the steam trap, friends. But now what's happening here, when the steam and the condensate enters, steam being lighter you can say, or you can say the condensate being the more heavier, or more in density. So in that case what happens, the condensate settles down here while the steam remains floating here. Now as the slowly and slowly, or as the level of the condensate increases, this leads to the rise of the ball, and that's what we are explaining here. In the case of the ball float rise, so ball float to rise lifting the valve of its seat. So in that case, once the ball it gets raised up, so this valve opens up and the condensate flows out while the steam is still in the trap position, friends. This is the major concept that you must understand here, how the condensate is released and how the steam is trapped here in the case of float and thermostatic steam trap, friends. I'm not going to explain in detail here. Again, you can go through the chapter, entire thing explained in detail, but I hope you must have understood the concept, how the steam and condensate is trapped here, and how the condensate is released here, and how the steam is trapped here inside the float and thermostatic type of steam trap, friends. So in the exam, friends, they may ask you to give us some of the advantages of the float thermostatic steam trap. So these are some of the listed here advantages which you must remember and it can be used in the exam, friends. The trap condenser discharges condensate at steam temperature. This makes it first choice for applications where the rate of heat transfer is high for the area of heating surface available. It is able to handle heavy or light condensate loads also, as long as an automatic air vent is fitted. The trap is able to discharge air freely. It has large capacity for its size. You can see in the other case it was air size, in air vent size was small, and therefore air was releasing slowly. Here you can release a large amount of air with a large capacity for its size. Version which have a steam lock release valve are the only type of trap entirely suitable for use where steam locking can occur. It is resistant to water hammer. So these are some of the advantages of the float thermostatic steam trap. I'm not going to explain you again here, just remember these points. So they may ask you in the exam only to list the different advantages. They may not ask you to explain it in detail, but just you must remember some of the points here. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 points are given here. Either you can remember all the 6, but just 5 of them, friends, for the exam point of view. So in the case of biometric type of steam trap, here basically the function is same. You have to release the condensate, but you have to trap the steam. But the functioning working principle is different here. In this case, the temperature sensing is required. Basically, what happens here, when the condensate or any air or gases enters, it has a bit lower temperature than the steam. So these biometric strip will not expand when the condensate or any air or gases will enter inside the trap. So in this case, it remains at the same position. It will not expand, and therefore condensate or any gases will be able to release out. But as soon as the steam enters inside the trap, what happens, this biometric strip gets expanded, and therefore the valve, or if it is open here, will be closed. In that case, the steam will be trapped here. So this is the major concept you must understand in the case of biometric strip trap, where the biometric is used to trap the steam and release the condensate, sensing the temperature, friends, of the condensate as well as the steam. Temperature of the condensate or gas is lower than the steam, and this is the major concept that you must understand, how this type of biometric strip trap functions, friends. So with this, I am ending the part D, friends, and hopefully the concept and the explanation that I provided in this particular video is helpful for you for exam preparation, friends. Please be connected with me, because I'm also going to upload the part E, where I'll bring the different areas and concepts from the chapter steam system. Likewise, I hope this video is useful for you today, and also going to be useful for other videos that I'm going to upload in coming days, friends. So please be connected with me for the other videos that I'm going to upload in coming days, friends. So I hope, friends, you must have enjoyed this video. This is my YouTube channel, Energy and Environment Education, and please do subscribe my channel, friends. This will motivate me to prepare more such videos in coming days, and you can maybe stay connected with me, because I'm going to post more such videos which may be useful for you. Basically, importantly for all those engineers who are looking forward to take exam this year in coming years, for energy manager, energy auditor exam, for them these videos are going to be helpful, and also for all other engineers who are willing to go or switch their career or make their career in energy domain. For them also these videos are going to be helpful. And for your knowledge, friends, I'm not going to only make videos on energy exam. I'm also going to upload a lot of videos on different topics, basically on sustainability, basically on water, basically on carbon, and other areas, friends, which may be really helpful for you in coming days, and may be helpful for you to prepare yourself for the energy or environment sector, friends. So if you're looking forward to make career or build career or shape career, or you want to start your career on energy or environmental sector, friends, for those people also, those engineers also, this video going to be really helpful, and other videos that I'm going to prepare and upload in my channel, friends, in coming days. So stay connected with me. This is my YouTube channel, Energy and Environment Education. Please subscribe the channel, friends, if not yet, and also please press the bell icon so that you get the instant notification as soon as I post a new video in coming days, friends. This is my mobile number, also my WhatsApp number, and this is my email ID, where you can share your thoughts, your inputs, your feedbacks. Those things are really important for me to understand whether you are going through the videos or not, whether these videos are going to be helpful for you or not. So please share your inputs and stay connected with me. So that's all for today, and we'll be again back with a new video in coming days, friends.